Sheesh. Shoo. Mm. Hey, what's good, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope everybody's doing well. What's going on, Miss CEO? How are you? Hey, Amy. Hey, Nicole. Uh, let me see. Getting y'all some info. Um, let me see what y'all got going on. I hope everybody's doing good. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Hold on. They may have the site for us, so I want to check and see if they got it. Whew. Okay. Well, I hope. Hey, Miss Sharon, how are you? Well, I hope everybody's doing good. Happy Monday. Um, hmm. Just let y'all know. Uh, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead on. It's tax season, so I'm gonna go ahead on and let y'all drop me these wonderful tax questions while we got y'all here. Um, I'm just looking up the beneficial ownership form. If you guys did not know, it is available. So we talked last week about individuals who have businesses and how FinCEN is going to want you to register your business so that you can claim it as the beneficial owner. And the site is up. You do have, while I got you guys here, until January 1st, 2025. Okay. So, although the site is up, they have not made it mandatory that you have to do it just yet. They would like you to do it, but it is not mandatory just yet. Anybody want the website? Um, I will send it to you. I'll type it in here on my on YouTube. But for my TikTok people, y'all gonna have to send me a message and I will send you the link. Okay. Let's see. So again, if you're on YouTube, I'm sending it to you. So anyway, all right. So happy Monday, everybody. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. Believe it or not, I am preparing for a big, huge test. I'm not gonna say what that test is yet. And I was studying, and so I had to handle my business first. Okay, so I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Please, if this is your first time, please like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Even if this is not your first time, y'all know to support your girl and make sure you share the page. I appreciate it. I cannot grow without you all. Okay. So, no, we are not about to talk about Cat Williams, talking about everybody, okay? Because a whole lot has happened since I saw y'all last week. I'm telling you, every week is always like something extra, okay? So, I want you guys to, of course, hey, Windy City Girl, it is tax season, okay? So if y'all, let's talk taxes. Let's get some of these questions answered. I'm already working with a lot of you guys. Thank you very much. I'm going to tell you guys what I see already. Already, okay? We ain't even been in tax season 10 days yet, and it's already some mess, okay? So I'm going to tell you guys what I see already, so that hopefully you'll be more prepared when it is your turn to file. If you did not know, If you have a tax preparer with an EFIN that actually uses tax software, you do not have to wait to file your taxes. Some of you have already received your W-2s. Some of you are going to want to use your last pay stub because some of y'all need this change, okay? One of the benefits of going to a tax preparer that actually has tax software is that you guys can apply for an advance. Um, I wanted to just go over a few things so that y'all are not going to be played this year, okay? Because a lot of y'all have been being played, and y'all tax preparers are taking y'all through the ringer only because they are trying to line their pockets, and hopefully that is what we are going to try to prevent. All right. So again, hey, Ms. Newborn, I was waiting for you, homegirl. Newborn maternity photographer. I did not see you, so we can go over those direct and indirect expenses. I remember you from last week. Okay, so again, drop your questions and I'm going to tell you what I've seen. Hey, Miss Nora. Miss Nora says, good afternoon. And you already done past that test, Miss. I know that's right. In Jesus' name, I have already passed it. Thank you very much, Miss Nora. Yes, Miss CEO, people are out here charging like crazy. I'm telling you. And I'm going to let y'all know right now, because I had to go through and screenshot a lot of lies that I have already been seeing on these flyers. Okay. Now, first and foremost, I don't hate on anybody. Make your money how you mean to make it. Thank you, Miss Newborn. I'll be waiting for you. I'm not here to trample on anybody's game. I ain't throwing no salt in the wounds, but what I am going to do is educate you guys who actually go to people, so that you realize that you are being baited. Okay. And a lot of y'all are. Okay. So, on top of y'all dropping those questions, first, let me, a lot of people ask the basic question of what do I need to do my taxes? I could have sworn we've been doing taxes for a long time, but you'll be surprised at people who do not know. Okay. Yes, Miss Meek. Miss Meek says to give you tips for filing your own taxes. I can absolutely do that. First, if you're going to file your own taxes, first and foremost, everybody needs access to the irs.gov website. I'm not ever going to not be a champion for that website. That website is up to date. If you owe money, it's going to tell you. If you haven't filed, it's going to tell you. Okay. If you can't find your W-2s, your company went out of business, or you changed addresses and you lost your information, you're going to need that website so that you can get all your information. The IRS has made it super duper easy to get where you need to file taxes. So there is no excuse why some of y'all are not filing, other than the fact that you are scared because you owe. Two, you owe and you don't know what to do. Three, you owe and they're going to take your tax return, so you feel that there's no reason to file. Okay. Or four, you are under the guise that you are not needed to file because you are on Social Security. Okay. So we're going to go through all of that real quick. Okay. First and foremost, if you are on Social Security disability, it does not matter. You need to file. Okay. And make sure y'all tell somebody to tell somebody to tell someone. I do not know how many people are on Social Security disability and do not file. Okay, if you're on Social Security disability, you can do one or two things. You can file and have a $0 tax return. You mail it into the IRS. Boom, you are done. At least you know that nobody has stole your social. Or if you are on Social Security disability, you can be claimed as a dependent for someone under someone else. Okay. So please don't think that you are useless and that you do not count, because you do. All right. Because most people who are on Social Security disability do not make enough money to take care of themselves. All right. So you can be a dependent on someone else's taxes, or you file your own. The reason I want you to file regardless is because you need to make sure that social is being ran through the system so that nobody can steal it. People steal, guys, with no problem. Okay. And I'm going to give y'all an example. I don't know how many of you have heard, but over the weekend, there was a TSA, that stands for Transportation Security Administration. There was a director in Atlanta. She was handcuffed. She was arrested and taken to jail for and they got her. I mean, I done read the stuff. She did it, okay? But they got her for elders, like elder abuse, and basically signing over a deed to herself when the individual clearly had dementia. Okay, now why I'm why I brought this up is because as I'm going through the police report or the arrest warrant, all of her information is redacted except her social, her birthday, her name, her address. All of those are supposed to be redacted. But if I found it just reading an article, and I screenshotted it because I wanted to show proof that even when people are not trying to do anything illegal, things can still slip out. So just as easy as I got her social, and let me tell you now, she got a good job working for the government. And if she's working for transportation security and she's way up there as a director, I can almost guarantee she got good credit. So if I was one of those people that did unethical things, guess what I could have did over the weekend? I could have went on a shopping spree. I could have used this person's name, birthday, social. I had everything I needed. All I needed to do was get on the computer and use it. So just like how easy that information of hers got out, and that was from an arrest warrant. Think of your information. Okay, think of your information laying around in somebody's office, in the doctor's office. I mean, your stuff is out there, guys. And if you want to protect your information, and I'm always talking about protecting your information, the reason why is because I read all the time these articles of people stealing stuff. And and if I find it, I'm gonna click it. I'm sure gonna screenshot because I want proof to show y'all that it can be gotten even by mistake. Okay. So Social Security, disability people, one or two things: file on your own or become a dependent on somebody else's so they can at least, especially if they work, they can at least get the little $600. It went up from five. It's $600 so they can get for you, okay, for being an other dependent. All right, number one. The number so that's not number one. Number one was to make sure you have your IRS account. You have your login and your password. Believe me, take the little 5-10 minutes that you have to go through by talking to somebody through the phone. The IRS has linked up with ID Me, where the people actually got to see your face. They need a clear shot. Take them glasses off. They want to know it's you before they give you access. Once you have access, you have the right to get into your information. I have tons of people that haven't filed in years. Well, how else are you gonna get your W-2s? You need to go and get them from the IRS. You can get them in transcript form, and you can file your back taxes. Okay, so first and foremost, make sure you have your IRS login. Second thing, since we're talking about tips on how to do them yourself, you need to decide where are you going to do them. Are you going to do them in the IRS? You know, the IRS now has where you can file your own taxes. 11 states, they will allow you to do your own. Now, these need to be simple taxes. I'm telling you, because if you got Schedule C or self-employment, you got children, you got things like that, you may not know what you're doing because you don't understand the forms. So if you are just a single person who just had a job, you don't have no frills, nothing special going on, do it. Okay. By all means, file your taxes on your own. You can do it through the IRS website. You can do it through TurboTax. You can do it through H&R Block, wherever. Okay. Single people, y'all should be doing them the cheapest way possible versus paying a lot of these tax preparers a lot of money to do your taxes, because a lot of y'all don't even have nothing special that even requires an expert or a trained individual to do your taxes. So if you know you just worked at Walmart and you was chilling and maybe you got some savings in your bank account and the bank done sent you a little interest form, you do not need no help filing those. Okay. And if you do, TurboTax and H&R Block, they got a free 800 number that you can call to make sure you put them in the right block. Okay. So I'm trying to save you guys a couple dollars. Now, that's not a lot of us. A lot of people got kids, retirement. A lot of y'all pull your retirements out. Some of y'all got cryptocurrency. Some of y'all played in the market with stocks, things like that. Then you probably are going to need someone who knows how to fill out all those extra forms and schedules so that you can get the most of your money. Okay. What was the next thing I want to tell you? So IRS, choose where you want to file. Make sure you have all your documents. Okay. And that's the reason why I want you guys to use the IRS website, because If you forget something, don't worry. Uncle Sam did not forget. Okay. He knows. You know how they say Santa Claus, he knows when you've been sleeping and he knows when you've been awake. Uncle Sam knows. Okay. So he knows if you work 17 jobs. You may not remember, but he does. That's why you want access to IRS. Hey, Lavaris. Um, IDMe is great. Yes, it is. You want to be able to see every form that was turned in about you. If you got a 1099-C, cancellation of debt, okay? A lot of y'all are doing the right thing and paying y'all bills off. I'm very proud of y'all. Y'all settling with the debt collectors, paying less money. Cool. But what y'all don't know is, because half the time they don't tell you, is that you're going to receive a 1099-C for the remainder of the debt that you did not pay. Okay, so you need to make sure that you don't have no 1099-Cs if you paid debts. 1099-K, okay, 1099-K. For the individuals who use Square, Stripe, PayPal, if you are in business and you are taking payments in any form, you will receive a 1099-K. Now, you do not. Here goes the tricky part, I'm a lot of this stuff is going to be repetitive if you watch me, but you need to know, because one week to the next you will lose this if you ain't writing it down. If you do not have 200 transactions, meaning swipes or punch in the numbers, if you don't have 200 transactions and $20,000 in sales, you do not have to file your 1099-K, but you still need it. Why? Because you want to make sure these numbers match. That's all. Okay. It may not matter to you now, but it can later. So if you are a business owner and you're using any third party platform, authorized.net, Payoneer, Fiverr, anything. If you're on Fiverr, if you any platform that is taking your payments for you, you need to make sure you are seeing your 1099-K, because hey, you might be making so much money that you didn't even realize that you did have 200 transactions and $20,000 in sales. Now, if you have 200 transactions and $19,999 in sales, you still do not have to file it. It has to be 200 transactions, $20,000 in sales in order to file. But you still need to see your 1099-K. If you have children that are in school, if you are in school, even if you are paying student loans, some of y'all ain't. Okay, I know a lot of y'all are not. But if you have, you should be looking for a 1098-T, T as in tuition, so that you can get some of the money you paid back in the interest that you were paying on your student loans. If you are a student, you will also get a 1098. I'm trying to think of what that one is. You get the 1098 form from your school showing. Hold on, and I'm gonna let y'all know what that is so I can be correct. Hold on, I'm gonna get you the list of these forms so that y'all know. Because some of these y'all probably don't even think y'all need, but you do, because sometimes it does give you money. Okay, so you get a regular 1098 if you have a mortgage. Now, I can tell you, for the majority of the taxes that I have done all over these years, even though you put it in, your mortgage, your interest, and all that stuff, you don't really get nothing back. Okay, but put it in anyway, because you don't want the IRS coming after you later, like they did another one of my clients who purchased a house, sold the house, but because they weren't putting in the information, IRS didn't even know that they sold it. And then IRS got information from a title company saying, hey, this person sold their house for $500,000. So the IRS is saying, hey, where's our cut of your 500,000? They didn't even realize, oh, shoot, they have to pay off the house. They didn't care about that. All they wanted was their portion of the 500,000. So now we had to go and fix their taxes and inform the IRS that, hey, we didn't collect all that money. We had to pay off the mortgage, and we were left with this much, and we'll pay you off of what we left with. Okay, so y'all need to make sure, if you got a home, you need to have a 1098. Let's see. Oh, sorry, a 1098-E is the one for student loans. I apologize. The T is for the school. Okay, that's when you're in school, but the E is when you are paying your student loans. Most of these other 1099s you'll probably won't have. Let me go to the 1098s y'all won't have. Let me go to these 1099s real quick. Um, mm, 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 mm. If you have a medical savings account, you will have a 1099. SA. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a federal savings account and that's where you put money aside to pay your medical bills and you don't put that in on your taxes, you will, y'all hear me? You will hear from the IRS. There's a couple things they don't play about, and that is the Obamacare, that 1095C that y'all receive. So please make sure you have that 1095C. That is the only 1095 y'all are ever going to receive. Make sure you have that, and make sure you do not play with them when it comes to this federal savings account or the health savings account. They call them different names. Um, and that is a 1099 SA. Okay. So make sure that you have those two, because if you do not, you will hear from them quickly. Okay. I don't know why those two, probably because some of their money is tied into it and they don't want their money tied up. So please make sure that you have those. All right. And let me see. What's another tip? Oh, okay. So, and if so, the tip was the question was the tips of filing your own taxes. So you make sure you got those forms. You know what those forms are. You got your access to your irs.gov. You are also um, printing out your wage and earning transcript. Your wage and earnings transcript on the IRS website will tell you, and it will show you everything that has been turned in under your social security number. Okay. Um, I think everybody should do it every year, which is why you guys should not, in my opinion, be in a rush to file taxes. Also, a lot of these forms aren't even open yet. Some of these people that we've done advances for, they already know that, hey, soon as you get your W-2, you need to come right back to me, because we're definitely going to have to amend your taxes, because there are things that come up on your W-2 that are not on your last pay stub. So if you are out there rushing to file your taxes, ain't no judgment. People need their money. I get it. People need their advance. Y'all got bills to pay. I understand. Christmas just passed. Some people broke. I get it. But make sure you file, get your refund from the IRS, and then amend your taxes so that you can do it correctly. And if there's any money you owe back, you pay them. Most the best case scenario, and this is probably what's going to happen with the majority of you guys, you are going to receive more of a refund, because there are other numbers that's not on there. Okay. Most of y'all on your last pay stub, you're only going to see your year-to-date earnings, your year-to-date Social Security, year-to-date Medicare, and year-to-date um federal income. It is not going to show all of those employer paid programs, like when they pay for your insurance and they match your 401k. All of those numbers are not going to be on your last pay stub. So you will need to go back and amend if you did your if you got your refund or your advance off of your last pay stub. Okay. January 23rd. I want y'all to hear me out. January 23rd is when the filing season opens for everyone. Last week, I know we said the 13th, and that was, maybe that's for H&R Block, but that is not for everybody else. You will not be able to file until January 23rd. And the PATH Act, which applies to majority of you guys with kids, that will not open until February 15th. So although you submit your taxes on the 23rd, you will not receive your money until around February 15th if you have kids. Now, I have seen, like I said, the IRS let some people through. Some people with kids get theirs sooner, but the date for everyone of what they push through is February 15th. Now you got to remember, the IRS files taxes in batches. So a lot of times they will batch test a small group of people with children and allow them to get their money early, only because they're trying to make sure the system works right. It doesn't mean you did nothing special, because February 15th is the date when people with children will start getting that's when the mass, everyone with kids will start getting their money. All right. So single people, y'all have between now and February, basically Valentine's Day, to get y'all money before everybody else does. All right. Unless you are going out there and you are getting you an advance. Okay. Let me see if y'all ask anything. April says, I have an adult daughter, 25, living with me. No job for 1 year. Can I claim her? April, is she in school? Is she on disability? If she is not in school or disability, then the IRS sees no reason for you to claim her, because she is a full independent adult. And how they're going to look at her is she is just an adult who is unemployed. So in her case, no. Okay. Now, if a child is in school, you get to claim them until 24. Okay. 24. I know most people said 21, and I think we get that mixed up with child support. Okay. But as far as taxes go, you have to claim them until they are 24. But if they are just laying on the couch, they ain't got no job, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to claim them, even though you are taking care of them. Okay. The IRS feels like you got to have a reason for somebody to be that old not working. Okay. Now, like again, April, no judgment. I'm just talking to you in a way that only I know how to talk. All right. So, no, you will not be able to if she's not. But you said she has a health, mental issue, and disability has not come through yet. She's not in school. They are probably still going to say no because it's not documented as of yet that she has the disability um yet. So now I'm gonna tell you this: you could put down anybody you want to. You can. It doesn't mean you're gonna be paid for them. Okay. So, for example, as I was stating, if you want to just make sure that nobody's using her social and she is staying with you, and you can easily prove that you are providing more of 50% of her income because you're taking care of her, you can put her down, but it doesn't mean they're going to give you anything for her. The good part about claiming her is that nobody else can use that social. That's what's important. Okay. Meek said, someone just said January 29th. No, it's the IRS well, see, that's because the IRS is always very vague. The IRS says we will not open up, tax season won't open until late January. Okay. But from all of the websites I see and news, it's the 23rd. All y'all need to know is that you don't have to wait. You can file now. Now, if you file your taxes now, all your taxes will do is go into holding. Okay, they will just sit, they will be transmitted. The bank will hold on to them until the IRS opens, and then as soon as it opens, they will send it to the IRS. So you can file your taxes anytime you want to. You just won't be getting any money until after they open. Okay. Someone says, can they claim a 19-year-old? Yes, you can claim 19-year-olds. Yes, you can. Can I claim AOTC as a single filer? And I believe somebody asked me that. And when I see AOTC, I think of the adoption credit. So hold on. Okay. So AOTC, that's my dog, y'all. AOTC stands for the American Opportunity Credit. If you are in school, absolutely you can apply for it. That is another one of those credits that if you lie on, please be prepared to be audited. That is probably one of that's like the old school thing people used to do. Okay. So the American Opportunity Credit, you get to claim it 2 years in a row. And you get $1,000. Okay. You get $1,000 for being a freshman. You get $1,000 for being a sophomore. If you are a single filer and you are in school, you are eligible for it. You can claim it as long as you have not already went through 4 years of school, or if you have not already claimed it before. Now, I have seen people lie and say, no, I ain't never claimed American Opportunity Credit before, and they still get the $1,000. That's cool. Just know that that's another one of those red flags. See how red this is on my shirt? It's that big to the IRS. Wait a minute. Now, we ain't giving them no $1,000 when we shouldn't have. Okay. That's one of those that it's very easy to prove that you did not um, go to school. Why? Because the school has to send paperwork to the IRS anyway. Remember, I just told y'all to make sure you print your wage and earning transcripts. Well, guess what? Your 1098T will also be on your wage and earning transcripts. So if they don't get anything saying you were in school, but you filed something saying that you were in school, somebody's going to be owing somebody some money back. Okay. So I wouldn't try that at all. And I know y'all probably like, well, look at all the other things that people do and they get extra money. Yes, those are harder to prove. A self-employment job is hard to prove. Okay. All the IRS can do is say, we don't believe you, but they can't say that you did or did not do self-employment because they don't go to sleep with you at night. They are not with you at your job every single day. But they definitely will know if you went to school or not, because the school has a requirement to report on every student that went to school. All right. So let's not play. We're not gonna play with that one either. Okay. Another one y'all can claim that nobody ain't gonna be checking for is charity. Okay. Always throw in $300 for yourself. Okay. Some of y'all be tired and don't even know it, but they're going to give you $300 limit. Go ahead on and get your extra 50 bucks because that's all it's going to be back to you anyway. All right. But let's not play with the ones that we know we can't get away with. And those are ones that we cannot get away with. Okay. Number says you won't get that form from private schools. If you don't get that form from private schools, that's unfortunate. Usually they automatically send those forms out. If they don't, you can request it. If not, you can get it from your wage and earning transcript where you will be able to see. Okay. um FIT, Florida Institute of Technology, that's the private school, and every single one of my students that came there, mostly all Indian, they all had their tuition form to prove that they were paying, even if financial aid paid for tuition, even if student loans paid for the tuition, it still came on a form showing how much was spent from the government aid and how much they spent out of pocket. So I want to say I believe that it is required for a school to issue those, and if they don't, you ask them for one because you need to fill out your taxes and you need to fill it out correctly so that you don't get audited. Okay, and why would you leave $1,000 on the table? I'm not. Okay. Thank you very much, Ruthless. Thank you, I'm favorite. Yes, give me correct. 1099E. I had to get it right. Let's see. Let me see. Because now y'all make sure y'all ask these questions now, because I know a lot of people are gonna ask. Uh, um, let's see. It says, do I need to file my daughter survivor benefits? Now, when you say survivor benefits, are you talking about VA survivor benefits or are you talking about a deceased individual? Because if you did not know, if someone died in 2023, you do still need to file their taxes in 2024. Okay, so if someone died last year, you need to file taxes for them. Okay, you can still receive, you still can file, and they can still get a refund. All right, there are now the IRS does get a little lawyerish on you. Okay, so if you are the mother or if you're the parent of a child that's deceased, um, it may be easier to get the refund because you're a parent. But if you are anything else, they are going to ask you to send something from the courts saying that you have permission to receive the refund on that person's behalf. So if someone's died and you do not have anything saying that you are eligible to, get this person's check, then be prepared for them to hold the refund until you can provide documentation. All right. And that also goes for any woman that had a baby that was born, that received a social and may have passed later. As long as the child received a social, then you are eligible to receive earned income tax credit. Okay. Not a stillborn child. It has to have been born and had a social, and then died later. You could still be in the hospital, but they still will allow you to file to receive your earned income tax credit. All right. So, all right, let me see what you're saying. Oh, I love these questions. So, yeah, Momo, explain that to me about the survivor benefits, and then we can go from there. And maybe you're talking about survivor benefits of Social Security. I am favor says, I am head of household for an adult on disability. Should she file without income? Yeah, most people who are on disability, you don't put their information anyway. You just check the box that says that they received $4,300 or more. Because most time when you add up the checks, it's more than $4,300. So you would not put income down for them at all. You would put them down as a dependent. And under the dependent section, there's always some questions. And they usually ask, has this person earned more than 4,300? You would just check yes. That's it. You don't have to put any income. Now, if this person is on disability and they are filing on their own, okay, and they're filing on their own as their own adult self, they will have to put in the income they received from Social Security. When anybody files who is receiving, whether it's regular Social Security or Social Security disability, you got to have three things: the amount you receive from Social Security, how much you paid in federal income taxes, if you paid any, and how much they paid for you for Medicare. Those are the three things you have to answer when you are filling out that 1099 SSA portion of the taxes. Okay, so you guys need to be aware of that. All right, hold on. Just want to make sure my phone is charged. Y'all know stuff be dying sometime when I be on the phone with y'all. Okay. Missy says she's 21, but she graduated from college 2 months ago. Do I still get the yes? Because y'all have to look. It matters of what happened as of last year, as of December 31st. Now she graduated. But she was a student in that year of 2023. So you will still get documentation for her being in school for the last 10 months of the year. The 2 months she didn't because she graduated. But for those other 10 months, they are definitely going to send you paperwork saying, yes, this person was a student. So yes, you want to claim it. Now you may not get your full 1,000 because you didn't do the whole year, but you will get at least 800. Okay, so do not pass on these students. That's probably the number one form I see missing, and people come back to get their taxes amended the most because they forgot to put in anything about schooling. That is very, very, very important. Okay. All right. It says single. Should I wait until closer to the deadline? That's a choice. Um, Me personally, if you don't have a rush to get the money, I say file in February. At least you're giving yourself time for all the documentation to come through. The IRS has put out a rule that all of your employers and whomever you've done business with that keeps a track of your tax record or anything pertaining to your taxes, they have until January 31st to send it to you. So if you wait until then February will be the time that you will file. But again, y'all know what I say do. Go to your IRS, go to the IRS website, go to the transcript section and the wage and earning transcript so that you can see everything that you're supposed to have. Because some of y'all don't even receive all your documents because y'all don't even have a good address on file with y'all last company. Okay, a lot of y'all move around a lot. All right. So to avoid that and missing out on documents, wage and earning transcript. Okay, irs.gov. Y'all gonna hear me say that site a lot, but I absolutely am. Now, let me add something that I didn't add before. If you got your student loans dismissed, discharged, whatever you want to say, you were under the Borrower's Defense Program, any of that, you should be receiving a document for your taxes. Now, you do not have to pay taxes on them federally because they have been wiped clean and you're done. But you do not know what your state is going to do. And now, if you have a state that you pay no state taxes, well, you don't even got to worry about reporting it because there's nowhere to report it because you don't have a state section. But if you do have state taxes and your loans were dismissed, discharged, written off, forgiven, whatever word you want to use, you will need to add them because you don't know if your state is going to want you to pay. And if you'll see, the IRS will tell you, uh, well, you won't owe federally, but some states may require something. Okay. So since we don't know, and they're not saying which states, because state and federal are different, make sure you have that documentation too. Because one thing I don't want y'all to do is get audited from the state. Because once the state finds out that they got a little bit of room to audit you, man, they're gonna try to go back from years and years and years so they can get money. Okay, because this is an easy way to get money is to check your taxes. And most people don't get audited from state that much unless the federal does. But if you don't turn in something that you should, well, you may have an issue with your state. All right. So that's just a little tidbit. If you got your loans dismissed, please wait to see if you're going to get that tax document. And if not, call them and say, hey, I didn't receive my 1099-C because that's what it should be. It's a cancellation of debt. So they should send you your 1099-C so that you can put them in on your taxes. Okay. Let's see. I am favorite says I've been carrying her as a dependent for 7 years, getting paid for it. But then keep on going. I wouldn't change a thing. Usually when you make changes, that's when the red flags go up. Okay. If somebody's been claiming these kids for years and then all of a sudden now somebody else is, that's usually the red flag. That's usually when you get the letters from the IRS saying, prove to us this is your dependent. Because hey, they've only been used to seeing it been done one way. Now they're seeing it done another way, and they want to know why. Okay. That's legitimate. All right. So don't change it if you've been doing it all this time. And y'all too on YouTube. Now I know y'all the professionals over here, but if y'all got a question, y'all make sure y'all drop it. And it doesn't just have to be about taxes. Just drop your question, period. Okay. Rosalie says, what if you have a severe disability and he is 17 and does not receive SSI or SSD? Well, first, if they have a severe disability and are not receiving either, I highly suggest that you do take them to get evaluated so that they can be compensated for the issue. Okay. Now, it's a little bit off topic, but Social Security Administration has something that is called the Yellow Book. Yellow, like the color yellow. The Yellow Book shows every disability that they will pay for. So if you are not sure that you qualify, just go to the Yellow Book and you can find your disability. Look, find yourself in those pages and see what you have to have in order to be eligible to get disability. I don't like to hear that people are ill, sick, and they're not being taken care of. Because who's taking care of them? Who's paying those medical bills? I know they're expensive. So if someone is severely disabled, they should be getting paid as a disabled individual. Okay. But if you're asking, should you claim that person? Absolutely. That person is 17. 17s technically aren't eligible or old enough to really be on their own anyway. So a 17-year-old should be claimed on somebody, an adult's taxes, anyhow. Okay. So yes, Miss Rosalie, claim the baby. Okay. But also at the same time, you need to get with you an attorney. And if y'all did not know, Social Security attorneys are just like personal injury attorneys. They are free and they don't get paid until you get paid. So why people aren't running to the Social Security offices and trying to get it, I don't know. And stop running when they tell you no the first time. You got to go through it 3 times. A no, no, and the third time is usually a yes. Okay? So stick with it. All right. It says, Miss Mika says, can you claim a 19-year-old that is working though? Yes, you can. You can claim children that work, or you can claim dependents that work. There is a section on the taxes that states that you would check a box saying that this person can be claimed on somebody else's taxes. So what you do is, and this is probably my favorite one because people always get this wrong. Okay, if you are the parent and this person's the child, both of you can file your taxes, but do not submit, neither one of you. Okay. What you need to do is you need to make sure that on the child's paperwork that they check the box that they can be claimed as a dependent on somebody else's taxes. That way, when they hit submit, it lets the IRS know that we're going to see this person's social twice. Okay. So, yes, you can claim. Just neither one of you submit until you make sure those boxes are checked. All right. Um, I know in the software that I use, as soon as I put the person in, once I put their social in and I put their name and their address, it gets to a list of questions and it says, can this person be claimed on someone else's taxes? Yes, if they are 17, 19, and they're still living at home with parents. If they are in college and they're working, but you still claim them because, hey, the bulk of their money they receive is from you. So, yes, you would check the box on their taxes saying that they can be claimed by somebody else. Okay. And you want to do that so that they don't lock that social, because once you submit your taxes to IRS, that social is locked and nobody else can use it again. That's why baby mamas and baby daddies always rushing to file their children quickly, because they know whoever files is the one that's getting the money. So if the person is going, if that social is going to be used twice on their own personal taxes and their parents, the child, the dependent, needs to make sure they check that box saying they can be claimed as dependent on someone else's taxes. That's exactly what the sentence says. Okay. So yes, ma'am, you can. And make sure y'all tell somebody that, because a lot of these 19-year-olds, these kids are not getting the money they've paid. I don't know how many times I've gone to the parents to say, hey, why don't you just let me amend the taxes so that they can go and file for themselves? And then, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But these kids have worked and they've paid money to the government. And if you don't let them file, they don't get it back. And why would you want to do that? Because now that's money they got to ask you for. So make sure that you both are filing. It is possible. If you pay taxes, you should get it back. Period. Okay. So I hope that answered your question on that. It says, can you claim a 16-year-old SSI? A 16-year-old who is getting SSDI? Yes, because a 16-year-old is a minor. So yeah, a 16-year-old is not old enough to take care of their own self, take care of home. So yes, you would want to claim them. I don't know why so many people think that because you're on Social Security, you don't file. You need to file. Okay. And I'm gonna say again, protect that Social Security number, because if not, somebody gonna steal it. And somebody gonna be your 16-year-old child. They really gonna be 40 years old working and making money under your child's social. So please make sure that um you file your children's Social Security, disability or not, so that that social is locked, so that when anybody else tries to do anything, it will reject and say nope, this social has been used already. And I'm telling you, it happens, and it happens a lot to elderly people because they go years without filing because nobody ever told them that they needed to, and they can. Okay. It says enlighten us on the charity, please. So charity, you only, as a single person, you only get a maximum that they will count as far as giving you any money back, a maximum of $300, and if you are married, it's $600. So if you're filing taxes, you might as well say, and I'm not telling anybody to lie. This is entertainment and educational purposes only, but I am sure a lot of y'all have gave charity in some form or fashion. Y'all done gave away some clothes. Y'all done donated something. Y'all done gave money to the church, to the building fund, whatever it is. At least put yourself down for $300 so you can at least get 50 of it back. If you marry, you put $600 down, you're probably going to get 110 back. So at least give yourself some grace and say that you have donated something to charity, because most of you have, and you just didn't even realize to get a receipt. You didn't even know it was considered charity. But yes, you can claim charity, and you should. Okay, why not? Y'all, a lot of y'all need extra bucks in your check anyway. Okay. All right, let's see. Hey Marnie, how are you? All right. Rev Mio says, if I have two businesses, my wife works a job, should we continue to file joint? Well, if you have two businesses, that's a very good question. My question for you, Rev Mio, is, and I hope you can answer, what structures do you have? Are both your businesses LLCs? If they are, then you don't have to worry about having two businesses. You can use two Schedule C's, but they are both going to be on your personal taxes, because y'all, an LLC is nothing more than you getting paid, but you have a business. That is it. So when you file your taxes and you have an LLC, it has to go on your regular 1040 taxes. You just would use a Schedule C, which is for self-employment. Okay. So do not think that you got to do something special. Okay. But I'm going to tell you this. If you got two LLCs, and here goes the part where I come in as a tax professional, don't tell me you drove 50,000 miles on this job and then 50,000 miles on on both businesses for a total of 100,000 miles, and then you expect me to believe you actually worked the business too. There's no way, unless you are the a worldwide newspaper thrower, where you driving and you throwing newspapers from here to Chicago. Then maybe I could believe it. But do not over lie trying to get your refund. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't believe or think that people fudge just a bit, because I know they do. And the IRS knows people do too. But one thing that gets me is how much or how bad the lie is. Okay. Y'all have to remember, you can't work a full-time job and have a business and expect me to believe you drove 50,000 miles. There's no way, because y'all don't even drive 50,000 miles normally. So how could you, when you sleep, when do you eat? When do you go to the bathroom? So y'all gonna have to put these embellishments in perspective so that they look a little better when you are filing your taxes. Okay. So for somebody like Rev Mio who has two businesses, I'm fine with that. Yes, you're gonna have double the expenses because you have two businesses. You're gonna have double the write-offs. But I'm not gonna believe that you paid 4,000 in utilities on one business and then another 4,000 on utilities on the other business. It's just not gonna work. How much did you pay on your own utilities? So they look at stuff like that. So when you are doing your Schedule C, your self-employment form, whether that's you or your tax preparer, you might want to look at those. You might want to look at those forms. Look and see how much they gave you. Okay, and let's say it nicely, because I know a lot of people ain't writing this stuff down, but you got to make the lie look real. Okay. And I'm just, and you probably ain't gonna hear nobody else say that, but that's the truth. That's what gets people in trouble is when y'all start doing the most. Okay. Fuel tax credit. And then I'm gonna get back to y'all questions. Please remember, we got 2 years left on fuel tax credit. Yes, that is a way that a lot of people are getting very large amounts of refunds. So if you all of a sudden, you didn't pay hardly no taxes at your job, you got one or two kids. If somebody comes back to you and say, I got you 15 or more, you need to check your paperwork. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the IRS tax brackets for children don't even give you that much. For 3 kids, you're not even getting $8,000. So there's no way you can tell me with less than that, even if you had 3 kids, there's no way you're getting double without someone having to add something to your taxes to make those numbers go up. Okay. So that's why I said I took a lot of pictures today and I was looking at these flyers and I'm like, damn, it's the same tax season for everybody, but some people will give you $15,000 for 3 kids, $12,000 for 3 kids. I seen $11,000, $13,000. All of those are lies. All of those are lies, y'all. Okay. With no children, you're only getting $600 earned income tax credit. One child, you're getting 4,000. And I'm gonna give y'all the numbers because I do not like when people be baiting y'all, making y'all think that they done did something when all they did was put you in a world of mess where you have to explain to them folks. So no kids, $600. One kid, $4,000. 2 kids, 6,600. So we're gonna say 7,000. And 3 or more, 7,500. Okay, and you see they say or more. They don't give you no more. They only giving you earned income credit for 3 kids. Okay, so I don't know how they are explaining to you that they're getting you 12 and 15 back, and they didn't lie about something. Now I don't care if they lied. These are your taxes, but you need to make sure the lie is believable. Okay, no, they do not need to be using fuel tax credit, and I know that's what the majority of these people are going to be doing. So if your taxes come back super high, and I know a lot of y'all, girl, get me the most. Y'all don't want that because then when you're audited in 2 years, now you're sad and crying because the house you was about to buy, you can't buy it no more because now you owe them folks. Okay. Or you're worrying about having a tax lien, or you're worrying about not ever getting a tax refund again until you pay them back. So let's be smart. And you could be greedy all you want to. I don't care, but they will because they got money now. They're going to find out. All right. So I got people who are patiently waiting for them to come back and hit them with this fuel tax credit. And believe you me, we got 2 years left. As soon as it's gone away, that's when they're going to come after you. Same thing they did with COVID. They let everybody get the 7202 credit. Oh, yes, go. Oh, put all that money in. Get it all back. Now COVID is gone. Now you can't use that credit. Why you think they're not cutting checks? Because they looking at your returns to see who went crazy on them 7202 credits. And all they're going to do is send you a letter saying, hey, we disallow, which means they don't agree. We disallow we disallow these credits. These amounts you put in, we don't allow them. So we're going to take them out. And if we take them out, our calculations show you, oh, it's this plus all these late fees and penalties. And I told y'all, late fees and penalties have gone up. They 8% now. Now that probably don't sound like a lot, but it's a lot more than what they used to charge. Okay, so they going up on their fees and fines because they catching too many people and they just want more money. Now, did somebody say bankruptcy? Oh, I thought y'all did. Well, in case you did not know, you can throw your IRS debt into bankruptcy. Now, I'm not telling people go out there and get all the money you can and then file bankruptcy once you find out you owe, but I am letting you know that it is a resolve. If you happen to be one of those people that you just got too much debt and you don't know what else to do, you better run to your good old uncle. He my uncle too. His name is Sam, and he will allow you to file bankruptcy so that you do not have to pay all those people back. Okay. So I'm just saying. Let me see what y'all saying. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Marnie. All right. By the bar talk says people don't care until they're audited. So very, very true. They don't care until they're audited. But at least I can say that the people that I know follow me care enough to know that. And you know what? Shamika said, nah, she didn't say I couldn't embellish, but I'm at least gonna, make it look believable. All right. Now you're a traveling nurse. You one of these people who travel. Yeah, it's not uncommon for you to have $10,000 in rent or in rentals because you're having hotel rentals or you got Airbnbs. That's explainable because your job can justify, your income can justify. But don't tell me you know hairstylists working out of your house in the kitchen and you got $10,000 in travel and you got $5,000 in meals. I'm gonna need you to stop. Okay, we're gonna bring it back. We're not gonna do that. All right. Now, if you're gonna lie, cool, but we're gonna need you to lie a little lower than these amounts that y'all been going, because some of y'all just going way too ham, and that's the problem. Okay. Let's see. User says even if they are not in college in 19, if they are not in college, uh, and they don't work, you can claim it, but you're probably not going to get anything. You only claim disabled and people who are in college from the ages of 18 on to 24. Okay. Now, if they're just at home, they ain't got no job, the IRS looks at them as you just unemployed. You ain't got no job. Okay. But that doesn't mean, me personally, I'll still add them on the taxes just because I want to make sure that nobody uses the social, even if they don't give me no money. Okay. But that's just me being the stuff that I see. I don't mind if I put them on. The IRS don't have to pay me. I just want to make sure that social is tied up so that nobody else can use it. So you got to make up your mind. If somebody don't work, and you just want to put them on your taxes so that you can say, hey, I just didn't want nobody to use this social. Fine. They ain't gonna give you no money for it, and you can put them on the taxes. But don't expect to get a refund, for that person if they don't fall into any of those situations. They're in school or they're disabled. Okay. Jennifer says, do you know why there are still people waiting for refunds from last year? The IRS has all this money. Very much, yes, because the IRS has all this money, but they do not have all the employees. There's probably a bunch of reasons. They're probably reviewing people's refunds. Y'all got to remember, they are still auditing or going through the process of reviewing people who did the employee retention credit. So it was tons of people who turned that in. So when the system is clogged up with a lot of fraudulent returns, how are they going to get to everybody? And if y'all did not know, the IRS after October 15th, they shut that e-file down. So I even have people that I done their taxes, I can't even e-file it from last year until this season opens up. So some people's taxes I can't even submit. Okay. So if you're a person that's late doing your taxes, you're probably could be one of those people who don't get your tax return until the next year. If they are doing a desk audit, if they're just reviewing your taxes, that could be a reason why you haven't gotten it. Or you could have just or fallen into the mix of the clogged pipe of all of these tax returns being turned in. It has everything to do with the time you do your taxes too. Okay. That's why they close the season at April, but they give people who filed an extension until October. Okay. The IRS only could take so much. And you see after April, they're like, oh, we can't do no more. But we are done. Okay. So that's not uncommon, Jennifer. A lot of people are held over for the next year. You can call them and all they're gonna do is tell you we're still processing it. So I wouldn't even call. I will wait until this new tax season opens. And if you haven't gotten your refund, I would say by March from last year, I would start to call. Okay. You gotta give them a little bit of time to work through the stuff. Okay. So believe me, I have a lot of folks. Okay. I know I got 3 right now that I can't even submit. And they won't even get their money from 2022 until this year when tax season opens because they closed the portal. Let me see what else y'all asking. It says if a 16-year-old is working 35 or so hours, state should be taken out, correct? If the employer did what they were supposed to and there is a state tax in your state, then yes, state tax should be taken out. If the person is in Florida, Tennessee, Wyoming, Nevada, 7 states that don't pay state tax, then you won't have to worry about it. But in most cases, it should automatically come out. Now, now I don't know if y'all see my TikTok, but I did a TikTok video of an employer. He was in Florida and he was taking out federal Social Security and Medicare. And most employers take that money out and put it in the bank and they put it over to the side. And then once every 3 months, they send that money to the IRS. Well, this fool was taking the money out of his employees' checks and was not giving the money to the IRS. Okay. So this is where y'all have to come in. Y'all cannot just depend on people to do their job for you. This is your money, your livelihood. Now, let me say something. The people who did not get their money turned over to the IRS that he was taking out, guess what he screwed them on? Not only did he screw them on not paying taxes, but he screwed those people where they are not even able to get their Social Security. So if those people wanted to retire and wanted to base their retirement off of those years that they worked, Max, shut up. Sorry, y'all. That's how I have to talk to my dog. If those people wanted to get retirement off of those years, guess what? They can't because the employer didn't pay. So you didn't pay into it, you don't get your points. So if you, which is so this is why for those who say y'all, I went exempt, I'm not paying no taxes. That's cool, but y'all need to make sure Social Security and Medicaid is getting paid because if you don't, you are going to screw your own self and you will not get those points. And in order for you to get a good year to count towards Social Security, you need 4 points a year. And if your employer not paying, you ain't getting them. So unfortunately, that's what happened to those people. And that sucks because now how are they going to get those years back? They probably going to have to they're going to have to pay into it to get those years back. So if you are working and the numbers ain't, ain't nothing coming out, so y'all need to be questioning. Stop acting like y'all slid on by. Like, yeah, well, it ain't on me because they didn't. It's on you because the government gonna say, well, you see your paycheck. Why you didn't report it? They ain't just gonna get on your boss. They gonna hold you accountable too. All right. Yes, Jennifer. They always gonna say they're still processing. That's their favorite line. Um, and they are backlogged. The IRS is one of the agencies that never seems to have enough people to work. And honestly, I believe that is by design so the system can stay broken. Okay. If the IRS was as efficient as y'all want them to be, y'all would be scared because that means they are going to come and get y'all every time you turn around. So be grateful that the IRS has a small number of employees compared to the vast amount of tax refunds or returns that they get. Because if they were on their job, baby, y'all will be getting audited every single year, and you don't want that. Okay. All right. So let me see. Hold on, because y'all dropped me some questions. I love it. Okay. Um, it says I do charity, but Jackson Hewitt say they don't do it no more. Well, I don't know why Jackson Hewitt said they don't do it. Um, they probably ain't doing it because if you ain't sending them, probably ain't doing it because you're not handing in proof. Because the IRS definitely gives you the option. It's definitely on the software where you can put it in there. I don't know why they would say that they wouldn't, but if they don't, then they don't. Then it's $50 you won't get. But hey, I would ask why. Ask them why instead of why they just don't do it. Ask why. Don't ever just let them say they don't. Okay. I'm sorry about that, caramel spice. All right. I am favorite says I never miss charity donations, ties, roundups, buying at Judge Bears and donations, etc. I don't know what you mean, Judge Bears, but yes, you definitely should never miss charity. I don't. Y'all make sure y'all do it. It says you can claim charitable contributions without proof. Yes, you could claim charitable contributions without proof. Yes, you can. Um it is up to the person that is doing your taxes to request if you have proof of that or not. Okay. I have this one old lady. She's the sweetest. She is always donating money to every televangelist that come on TV. Now, this is a black woman, and she give to the Catholics, she give to the Jews, she give to the Muslim, she give to every single one of them televangelist things. One of them those late night commercials, y'all know them late night commercials, and to give to this person, she donates to every single one of them. So when she come every year, she got all the mail. $19 here, $20 here. $30 here. So that's her proof. If you don't have proof, you don't have proof. Most people won't ask. Some tax preparers will. To me, when you want me to start putting down that you paid $8,000, $9,000 in medical bills, I'm gonna need some proof of that. Okay, but $300 for charity, $100 for charity, I'm not tripping, and the IRS ain't tripping either because they don't give you all of it back. But those large amounts of money, that's what we talking about lying smart. Okay, now I don't even care if you say you gave to charity, but we're not going to put like this one girl I saw. She made $40,000 for the year. She put that she donated all $40,000 of her income to charity. Somebody did her taxes to try to get her a large refund, not even realizing that you can put in anything and the system will give you a bunch of numbers, but it doesn't mean that it's legit. So, did she get audited? Absolutely. Did she know why? She didn't, until I looked at her paperwork and I said, "Well, honey, I don't know anybody that works for free." And that's exactly what you told them people that you did. And they know you're not working for free. And if you are, I mean, you doing something new, but this is why they questioning. This is why your paperwork ended up on somebody's desk, because you not, and then you only making 40,000. No shade to the amount of money you're making, but no way you made 40,000 and gave it all away. I'm gonna need you to make 140,000 before you start giving away, or even more than that before you start giving away that much money to somebody. Okay. Oh, St. Jude's. Okay, yes, St. Jude's. Yes. People absolutely do St. Jude's, and St. Jude's will definitely send you a letter, just like your church is supposed to send you a letter for your tithes and your offerings. Okay, which is why I do not donate to the building fund. No offense to the church folks, but if I'm gonna be giving y'all money, I'm gonna need a receipt, and the only receipt y'all give me is for tithes and offering. Any of the other stuff, the prayer request money, the building fund, the vacation Bible school fund, all of them fund, we don't get no receipt for that. You only get the receipt for tithes and offering. Okay? I just told y'all something. So if y'all want to donate money to the church, y'all know what box to put it in so y'all can get that money back at tax time so you can write it off. Okay? All right. What about a person that is a 501c3? What keep a break, self-employed daycare? So if a person has a 501c3, what do you mean what keep a break? If a person has a 501c3, for those that don't know, that's a nonprofit. So if you're a filing nonprofit, you wouldn't even be a part of this conversation because 501c3s are filed at another time of the year, and you do it on total different software. You cannot do 501c3s. You cannot file nonprofits in TurboTax or H&R Block or none of that. They have special company, special software that does that. You cannot do that on your own, and you will have to pay to file your 501(c)(3), even if, let me tell y'all, even if you made no money, you didn't get any money, you wasn't donated any money, you still need to file your 501(c)(3) taxes, your nonprofit taxes, at least once every 3 years. Get in the habit of doing it every year, but at least once every 3 years, because if you don't, the IRS will just take your 501(c)(3) status away. And I have more people have lost their 501(c)(3) status because they didn't file than anything else. Okay, so don't waste your money paying $600 to open this up and don't file when all you got to do is pay less than 100 to file every year saying that you didn't get no money. So no excuses for that. And if y'all need help, hit me up. But you definitely should file that. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer sent me $5. I appreciate it. Let me tell y'all, I'd be so happy. I don't even care if you send me $1.25. I'd be very, very happy and appreciative. Why? Because it's five more than I had. And thank you for letting me know that you appreciate the information that I do give, because I do this for y'all. Okay. So thank you very much, Miss Jennifer. I appreciate that. Hey, Miss Cynthia. Okay, Miss Cynthia, you know what? Been looking for you, girl. I'm glad you're here. Speaking of daycare, if your children are in daycare, please get your daycare form. Okay. And that is nothing but the name of the daycare, the address, their EIN number, and how much you paid. Because a lot of y'all are not receiving your child independent care credit. Most of y'all probably are not going to get it anyway. Let me just tell you the truth, even if you do put it in, because the majority of, and this is just a lot of people that I see a lot of you who are already middle class or lower income, and a lot of your daycare is subsidized by the government. Okay, so you're not paying a whole lot of money because y'all paying, a little piece. Even if you paying a little piece, still put it in, because your daycare person, if they're doing their books correctly, they are going your money is included in their total amount of income that they have earned. So in order to make sure their checks and balances is correct, when the IRS looks at their EIN number, you put in what they gave you. Okay. So but you need that for your child independent care credit. Some of y'all, now we just talked about these people telling y'all they can get you $12,000 with 3 kids. Now they probably gonna tell you, oh, that's your dependent care credit and your earned income tax credit. Well, let me say this: most people don't get both because your income is not going to sustain it, or you are already getting subsidized by the government. So please do not believe these people when they tell you that that's why they put $12,000 or $15,000 on the flyer, that they're going to get you back for your kids. They are lying. Okay. I could tell you, you could do a person who has self-employment. They didn't pay not $1 in taxes, and they can have 3 kids, and the max amount of money they're going to receive is 5,000, and that's not working. Okay. So, and that money comes all from earned income tax credit. All right. So if they did work, depending on how much their income is, they either may make too much where they don't get earned income tax credit at all, or they make some money, to meet the threshold, and the most they're probably going to get is 7 or 8, and that's with 3 kids. Okay. And that's exactly what the IRS says. So some of y'all, I wish y'all would walk in there with this paper from the IRS saying, well, how y'all fly and say y'all gonna get me 12,000, and the IRS says that I can't get no more than, I'm gonna read these numbers again. If you ain't got no kids, you're getting 600. One, you're getting 4,000. Two, you're getting 6,600. Three, you're getting 74. How they coming up with double that? Because they lie. Okay. And that's how they getting y'all in their offices. So please don't believe the hype. Can you explain vehicle taxes? The only vehicle taxes that y'all should be concerned about is the energy credits. When you get those Teslas, when you get these new smart cars, the clean energy credits. Okay. The other, and this is where I'm talking about fuel tax, because I'm sure that this is probably what y'all are seeing on your taxes. If somebody put on in your taxes that you got fuel tax credit, you need to have them remove it immediately. Okay. Because the fuel tax credit, and I did do a video of this on my TikTok already, you cannot get the fuel tax credit if you have a job where you drive your car on the highway. Fuel tax credit is for people who have off-highway businesses. So if you work in the ranch, you work on the farm, you're a landscaper, and you need the gas for you to mow the grass, or you need the gas in your chainsaw so you cut down trees. They give you the opportunity to claim the tax you paid on the fuel for that, but you cannot use it if it is your car on a highway. So if you work for Uber, Lyft, you do not get the fuel tax credit. If you are a truck driver, you do not get the fuel tax credit. Okay. Now, if you're a bus driver, you can, because your state government gonna file that. You can't file it. If you are an offshore fisherman, you can file if you're the owner of that boat paying for the fuel, but you can't file it. Now, if you got your own business and you do yards, you do landscaping, listen to what I'm saying. Now I'm giving y'all some gems without saying it. If you are a landscaper, you're going to need fuel. Then yes, you can use the fuel tax credit and up your refund. That's the only way to do it, unless you're a farmer. Now, if you're a farmer, you should also be filing a Schedule F, which is for farmers. If you're that landscaper I was talking about, you should also be filing a Schedule C. See, what messes people up is you let them put you in for these credits to get money back, but then they don't even file the companion form that goes with it, so that these red flags that's as bright as this red shirt goes away. So nobody who gets a fuel tax credit should just have their regular 1040 taxes by themselves. You better have a schedule in there, C or a F. Okay. Now, if you're an airline pilot, you got your plane. Yes, you can get the fuel tax credit. You guys qualify but not if you're driving your own whip, your own truck. It just will not work. So don't let them fool you. Thank you, Miss Cynthia. And again, if y'all been watching this long, please like and share. It is definitely over 8 o'clock, but that is okay. I'm gonna try to get to some more of these questions, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. Okay. It says, can you file taxes if you get disability? Absolutely, yes. SSDI is my favorite. File by yourself so you can protect your social, or be claimed as somebody's dependent. I don't know how many of y'all got grandmamas, y'all got mamas, y'all got people that's on Social Security disability, and y'all don't even claim them. Some of y'all need the extra dependent, especially right now when it's time to pay student loans. A lot of y'all letting these people just be sitting around doing nothing when you could use them to lower your student loan payment amounts. Okay. Some of y'all need it because some of y'all don't want to have to, y'all want to get breaks so that you don't have to pay student loans. Well, the more people you have in your household, the lower your payments. So look around your family and find out who has SSDI, because that is somebody that you're going to need to add, and they can be claimed as an other dependent. They may not be your dependent like you birthed them, but they are an other dependent, and you do get money for them. Okay. My I am favorite says, make a log of basic recurring expenses to keep track of basic fees, out of pocket, mileage to and from. You're exactly right. So I have a little cheat way that I do it. Okay, if you cannot keep mileage, you need to open up an exercise app on your phone. Exercise apps do just as good as Mile IQ. Okay, and the exercise apps are free. A mile is a mile, y'all. So you may be, according to your running app, you might be the most fittest person in the world because you don't ran all these marathons, but really all you did was drive and have it turned on. That's a cheap way. Another way to track your expenses, go to mint.com, mint.com, so you can sync your bank accounts and reconcile them once or twice a year, meaning just go through all the charges that you see. One, y'all need to see what you're spending your money on. That's one. And two, you need to know that, oh man, that's right. This meal was, but not this one. You can easily just tag it to let it know that it was a business expense, and mint.com will automatically put it in the category. So then when you go to your tax person, boom, you can say, here goes all my stuff. And the great part about it is you can do it today for last year, because mint.com allows you to go back. So please don't think that you cannot um, keep track of your expenses just because you didn't do it when you should have. You can still do it now. So that means get you an exercise app, okay, for the people who are driving now, and mint.com for people who need to track their expenses, because a lot of y'all don't. Okay, and you're missing out on being able to get yourself a larger refund. Y'all have to realize the IRS only has a few things that are refundable. There aren't many tricks to getting money back on your taxes because they only make a few things refundable. Okay, if you got solar, if you got solar panels, you can get money back from the solar panels. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's based off your income and how much you spent on them solar panels. And it's going to be phased out over 3 years. So just because you spent $20,000 getting solar panels, don't let these salespeople lie to you and tell you, oh, you're going to get it all back, because it's not true. You're going to get a percentage of it back, and it's going to be phased out over 3 years. Okay. I don't know how many people that I had to say, hey, don't argue with me. I'm gonna just show you what it say in the book, and you can go argue with IRS, Uncle Sam, and them all you want to, because they've been done figured all this out long before we even did these taxes. Okay, so stop letting people lie to y'all and gas y'all and make y'all think y'all finna get all this money back, because that's not what tax refund. That's not what a tax refund is necessarily for in all the cases. Okay. It says, I have 3 kids and I always get at least $8,500 every year. And that's about exactly right, because 3 kids on here says 7430. So if you worked some and you paid some taxes, 8,500 is probably about right. And I would also caution to say, if you didn't work and you got $8,500, somebody added a little something extra in your tax forms to get you 85, because you usually do not start out at 85 at all. Now, unless these are little babies, then you may stand a chance. But if they're probably over the age of 6 or 10, 85 is not what you're going to get. And please don't get caught up on those numbers, because as your children age, those amounts go down. What you got for a 6-year-old will not be the same as what you're going to get for a 16-year-old. Well, after a while, the IRS is like, these people are old enough. Now you don't need all this earned income tax credit, because these people can go out here and get a job. And you'll see once they start getting job aged, once they're at that age, you won't get that much. I have a college student. What do I need to feel I'm self employed, 18 and 14? If you have a college student, you need to make sure you got their 1098T. You do your regular taxes. If you're self employed, you would do a Schedule C. So, a Schedule C for you, a 1098T for the college student. And you also need to make sure that you claim your American Opportunity Credit, but that's what you got the 1098T for, and you are good to go being pretty. Okay. B Love says my taxes were $10,000 with 2 kids last year. Yes, last year. And if it was $10,000 last year, I can almost bet you, ma'am, beloved, beloved, let me see them tax forms, and I can promise you it was not $10,000 in earned income credit that you got. It was not, because IRS numbers don't even change that much from year to year. They may go up $400. Okay, and as a matter of fact, earned income credit didn't even go up that much. So if you got 10,000 with 2 kids, it could be your earned income credit and dependent care credit if your income met it, but more than likely there's some self-employment on there, without a doubt. Um, Unless you got like solar panels or you got something else, but there is no other way to get 10,000 for 2 kids without someone having to have done something. Okay. And like I said, I'm not hating on anybody. I just want y'all to know why y'all getting the amounts. Half of y'all don't care why. Y'all just letting them do things, but you should. Okay. If they did a 7202 to get you some money from the CARES Act, because you were saying the COVID and all that, yeah, that's why people in these last couple of years were getting very high refunds, because IRS was allowing people to put stuff, add these forms in, just like I'm telling y'all with this fuel tax. People probably gonna get 10, 15,000 this year with 1 kid, because somebody gonna lie on the fuel tax form. Now, if you say you pay for 100,000 gallons of fuel, I promise you, you're gonna get quite a bit. You might walk away with $20,000. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to. And that doesn't mean that you won't get audited, because you will, especially for frivolous stuff like that. Schedule C's, again, not that easy to prove if you're lying or telling the truth. But some of these other things where they absolutely know, now come on now. You all of a sudden now you got a plane and you've never had an airplane before, because you don't know what they're putting in them boxes when they putting this stuff to give you money. But $10,000 for 2 kids, somebody did something. Joe Trigger says, can a single filer file for fuel tax credit or just business? You have no reason filing for a fuel tax credit if you do not fall into the categories of which the fuel tax credit allows. Majority of people who get fuel tax credit are government, 501c3s, and farmers, people who are pilots, people who are fishermen, or people who have a landscaping business. And again, I'm not saying the landscaping business can't have made money, but where y'all mess up is y'all put in for the fuel tax credit, but you put down that you didn't earn any money from your side hustle. So you got a self-employment job, and you mean to tell the IRS that you paid for 20, 30,000 gallons of fuel, but you didn't earn any money. That's where you get caught. So if you want to put down that you use fuel, fine. Please make sure that you got them companion forms that I was just talking about to go with it, so that you're not looking stupid when they come ask you how you felt like you qualify for this. Because half of y'all are going to people that ain't even putting their name on your taxes. They just saying that you filed them. Okay. So anybody can get the fuel tax credit, but you need to make sure you're eligible for it. And if you are eligible, make sure you file the companion form, whether that's a Schedule F or Schedule C. Be love. That's what I'm saying. How only 4,000 for one? Hey, and you know what? And this ain't me. This coming directly from the IRS. If y'all don't believe me with the that's the first thing I check every single year is what's the earned income tax credit rates, because I know that is, as a tax preparer, that's your marketing. That's what you market with. And if I would have put out that I can get you $20,000 with 3 kids, do you know how many people I would have lined up to come see me? A bunch. But I know that I have to lie and put more than just that they had 3 kids. They're gonna have to lie because the IRS set these limits for a reason. This is how they know to audit Black folks. Okay, let's just say it. They know to audit Black people because Black people are the main culprits of violating this earned income tax credit and Schedule C thing. So they can look at your damn income. Oh, that's right. This person ain't worked nothing but 3 months. There's no way you work 3 months, pay $100, $200 in taxes if you paid any, and then you expect for them to believe you earned $15,000 in a refund. Somebody did something. And y'all might not want to say it, but this is how y'all getting screwed. Y'all going to these people, you paying them all this damn money to do your taxes, and then when you get audited, you can't even find them. So, do what you want. I'm just here to let you know how to at least do it better than the way you've been doing it. Okay. All right. Yvette says, what if my daughter receives SSI, but I don't work and haven't filed for taxes in years? Well, if your daughter receives SSI, what's her age? Okay, she's 15. So if she is 15 and you don't work, then you do not have to file anything. Okay. Because she doesn't have anyone, she's 15. Now, let me take that back. If your daughter paid any federal income tax out of her SSDI, she can file. And please don't tell me there's an age limit to filing taxes because there is not. I have a 5-year-old that we file her taxes every single year. Well, she's 6 now, but she works. She's an actress. She pays taxes. She gets to file taxes. Okay. So if your daughter paid any income out of her SSDI, then she can file taxes to at least say, hey, yes, what y'all received, saying that I paid this much of taxes is true. That's the only thing. But if you don't work and you haven't filed taxes, then you won't need to claim her and you won't file either. Okay. It's unfortunate, but I think the IRS needs to have a filing even for people who don't work so that they can protect your social. Okay. Now maybe somebody on IRS is listening, but that is something that they need to have just to protect y'all. Okay. You can, though, Miss Yvette, if you want to, you can still file and just put down that you did not work. It's not going to come back to anything. It's still going to say you get nothing back from the IRS and you don't owe them nothing. You can still do that, print it out, sign it, and send it in. You can do that. Okay. I like people to protect their social because I know how easy it is to get one. Okay. I told you I was reading yesterday and got the damn TSA director from Atlanta. Okay, I wish she was watching. She out of jail now. I wish I could show call and say, Miss, is this your number 015? I ain't gonna keep going, but I have it. I got a birthday too. And if I can get that from reading the newspaper, reading her arrest warrant, imagine what people have with your information on it. Good question, though, Miss Yvette. B Love says that's with state and federal. Okay, so that's with state and federal, then that's different. Okay, but I'm talking about them separate. Okay, so all together, you're right. It could definitely be $10,000 with those kids, but separate just on the federal. Remember, the IRS only gives you earned income credit for the federal. Okay, so there was no way you can get 10 grand with 3 kids or 2 kids. Well, I forgot the amount by itself. But now that you cleared it up with state and federal, yes, that is very possible to get. It says, thanks. Someone told me the same thing you were saying. I'm glad. I'm glad. People who tell the truth, a lie will change, but the truth does not. Okay. All right. So let me see what else you're saying. It says, do I get money back from paying someone to take care of my adult disabled daughter? Yes, you can get money back. That is called the Child Independent Care Credit Form 2441. If you pay somebody to take care of someone, whether they're elderly, if they're disabled, they need to send you um they need, hopefully they have a business, okay, so that you can put their EIN in, you can put the information in. But even if they don't have an EIN, you can use their social on the form 2441. That's the Child and Dependent Care Credit Form. It will allow you to put somebody's social or EIN in, and you could say, I paid this person this much. And then what the IRS is going to expect that person to do is on their taxes, because they should file also, especially if you saying you paid them. The IRS is going to want to see that they said they've been paid. So both people should be filing taxes. Okay. All this is doing is this is just checks and balances. So yes, you can claim that, because I do not want to have to pay taxes on money that I did not get to keep in my pocket. If I earned $100,000, but I paid 85,000 out in to people, I don't want to be taxed on all that because I didn't earn all of it. I mean, I earned it and I've been taxed, but I don't want to have to pay on it again. I didn't get to keep that money. So if you got money from your job and you paid someone to do something for you, that's the job. That's the contractor. You should not have to pay taxes on that money. Make them pay because they received it. Okay. So yes, and if you don't believe me, 2441 IRS form 2441, and you will be able to see that you can put the social or the EIN. Thank you, Jewel. Thank you, Jane Doe. I think that's how you say it. It says I need to do my bankruptcy. Then what's up? Okay, y'all know my two favorite words, free and bankruptcy. If you want to file it, there's no sense of waiting. Okay. IRS, you can throw them in as long as the IRS debt is 2 years or earlier. Okay, if it's 2 years or older, you can throw it in. Saying Social Security, there is no limit. Okay, you don't have to wait 2 years. If you owe Social Security today, you can file. You know how many phone calls I get from y'all saying that y'all owe Social Security? Why y'all ain't filing bankruptcy? You know how many phone calls I get from y'all saying that I got an overage in food stamps? Why ain't y'all filing a bankruptcy to get rid of that? If you didn't know, now you know. You can wipe out those debts. All right. It says if my 16-year-old is working. Okay, I answered that. You mentioned go to irs.gov to find out your income. Can you tell me where you said to look? When you go to irs.gov, you need to go to where it tells you to hold on. I'm gonna tell you right now because I like everybody to know when you go. So I'm on irs.gov. Bam, the first thing that pops up on my phone is get your tax record. That is what y'all want, your tax record. Once you do the tax record, you're either going to have to do ID Me or login.gov. ID Me is me, that's my preferred. You won't have to talk to the person, or you're going to have to call them. They're going to have to see you face to face, whatever, do it. Get your login. Once you get your login, you go to wage and earning transcript. They got 4 different things you can click on. You can go to tax transcript, account transcript, wage and earning transcript, and it's another one. But the wage and earning is the one that you need, that shows all the forms that you should be claiming or filing on your taxes, because this is what was sent to the IRS about you. Your account or your tax transcript is almost identical. Well, to me, it's always been identical. I've never really seen them be different. But your tax transcript is what you can turn in if somebody needs to see your taxes and you lost your paperwork. Boom, now you got another copy of it. Y'all don't have to keep going back to TurboTax and logging in and trying to find it. You can go right to IRS because they have all of it. Okay. It says also I do charity. Okay, I looked at that one. What do I need when filing a child in college? 1098T. Let's see. What about seniors? Can you claim them? As long as they're on SSDI, you can claim them. The seniors do have own, most seniors aren't without any income. I haven't seen too many. If they're on SSDI, yes. If they are getting pension, if they're getting any kind of retirement from a job that they had before, they have to be filed on their own. They got to file their own taxes because they have taxes they have to pay. They have taxes they have to report that they have already paid. So be careful when it comes to seniors, because most seniors have pension or Social Security disability. Okay. Now, if they just didn't work, they don't got nothing. Again, you can always add somebody onto your taxes. It doesn't mean you're going to be paid for them, but you can add them so that the social is protected once you submit. Okay. So I believe no social should be left behind. You know how they say no student left behind, no social left behind. File that person on your taxes just to protect the social. It's not even about getting money at this point. It's just about protecting their social. It says, do I tell them to file first and check the box that someone else can claim them? Absolutely. So if you got a dependent and they work and you're also going to claim them, make sure neither one of y'all file first until you make sure that the dependent has checked the box saying someone else can claim me on their taxes. Once you do that, they can file and you can file. That's fine. You just don't want the social to be locked up. The dependent should file before the parent, because you don't get to check that box on the parent's taxes, but you do get to check that box when the dependent files their own. So if two people are going to file using the same social, dependent files first because they check the box saying, hey, IRS, I filed my taxes, but you're going to see my social again with somebody else. That's basically all you're telling them. So the dependent files first. My tax class is not over, but for those who want to have their own tax business, you still have time to get your P10 and come on and learn, because tax season has not officially opened yet. But this is exactly what I do with my own, with the people that work with me getting their tax business, because a lot of this stuff they just are not aware of. Okay. So I want y'all to be. All right. Is it too late for someone to file the 2021 taxes? Let's see. 21, 22, 20. Nope. 21. You got 3 years. So this is the last year they can file. As of April 15th, if they do not file, that year is dead and they can't do anything as far as getting a refund. But they can always be audited. The IRS has no expiration date, but you have an expiration date on how long you can seek a refund. But they don't have an expiration date on coming after you if you did something wrong. Yes, seniors should file their taxes. Absolutely. Okay. If not, stand a chance of being a victim of identity theft. Cynthia says, what tax form should the defendant file that has the box for them to check? It will be on the page 1040. So as soon as the dependent goes to file their taxes, soon as they put their social, their name, their birthday, address, there are a list of questions. And one of them is, can somebody else claim you? The answer is yes. You check that box. Okay. So that's just going to be on your regular 1040. That's on your regular basic tax form. Okay. So if you even look at your 1040 right now from your old previous years, the question's on there. Okay. So it's on your regular, there's no special form for that. It says the employee did not and state it's because she's not getting a lot of hours. Okay. Well, sometimes if you don't work a lot of hours, you don't make enough to pay any income tax. If a child is a dependent and they did not pay any taxes, they don't have to file. I only suggest you have the dependent file their own taxes is if they paid taxes to the government so that they can get the federal part back. If they pay no federal, ain't no sense of filing. Okay. Not on their own. They can be filed as a dependent, but not on their own. Okay. And that's probably why you see nothing taken out for state or any of that other stuff. But you will see Medicare and Social Security taken out. Why? Because that's how they get those points so they can retire one day. Okay. Miss Gordon, you talk to your dog. I talk to my dog just like he a man, and he understands exactly what I'm saying. I do not play with him. Okay. Uh, self-employment tax credits. The self-employment tax credit. Okay, somebody says I need you for my credit. Hey, Sequoia, well, hit me up, girl. You know how to reach me right on Facebook. What's the best way to handle owing? Like if I didn't withhold enough for their tax the prior year. Ooh, these are some good questions. The best way to if you owe, the best way to prevent from owing is to plan for the next year. If you saw that you are $3,000 short, now this before anybody hook your taxes up with self-employment and all them other things they do to get you a return. But if you find out that you owe, I got somebody right now. He owe 1,053. So you know what I said? I'm gonna take your 1,053 and I'm gonna divide it by however many times you get paid a month. You get paid, a year. If you get paid 26 times, that 1,053 is divided by 26. And whatever that number is, that's how much more you now need to add to your taxes for next year so that you don't owe. So if you find out that after you do the math, you short, that amount is $50. Well, now you need to start putting in an extra $50 so that you can pay into IRS so that you don't owe the same amount plus. Okay, because this is what happens every year that you owe. Each year is going to go up by $300. So if you short $1,000 one year, the next tax season it's going to be about $1,400. So you need to make sure you are planning. So that's why you do not always need people to hook your taxes up, because you'll never know that you ain't paying enough because they done covered up your mess. Okay, I know people don't want to pay, and you don't have to if you don't want to. But you at least need to know that you are not taking out enough, especially if you don't have kids. If you don't have any kids, you're going to owe. If you got children and you owe, whatever they give you for earned income tax credit is going to eat that up. So you don't have to worry about it. So married people who got kids or head of household people who have children, hey, you ain't got to pay enough. The money your earned income tax credit going to pay it. Not if you're single. Okay. Now, if you owe and you want to know how to get out of it, and y'all know I'm gonna give y'all my last 15 minutes. I'm gonna be on here for 2 hours. Okay. I'm gonna give y'all 15 more minutes. If you do owe, you need to decide if you're going to do an installment agreement where you can make a certain amount of money that you tell the IRS you're going to pay them every month. They can take it out of your bank account directly, or you can pay it. The installment agreement is something that you can submit with your tax forms to let them know that, hey, I'm gonna pay y'all. I'm gonna just pay y'all on these days. What's gonna happen is at tax time, if you got a refund, they're gonna snatch it until the amount is paid, even though you're making your monthly payments. A lot of people get that confused. Well, I'm making payments. Why they took my refund? Because they want their money. Okay. Another way you would do a hardship. If you know that you don't make a lot of money, you on fixed income, and no way would you be able to squeeze another dime out of your budget, then you need to be asking the IRS to put you in uncollectible status, which is basically a hardship where you don't have to pay. Okay. And you will stay uncollectible until your income improves. So if you ain't on Social Security no more, you know, God bless you, and now you can walk again, and you got a job, you're gonna have to pay now. Okay, because they're gonna see that income come in. Or last but not least, you could do offer and compromise. And that's basically, and that's usually for people who have larger amounts of money. Okay, 50, 60,000, hell, it could be 20,000 or more. If you say, hey, I know I owe, I ain't got all of it, but I do got eight on it. I got 8,000 on this 20. Will y'all take this? They probably gonna say no, but they'll probably take they'll probably take 13 and go away. And then your last option for those, y'all know I say it all the time, throw it in bankruptcy and don't pay it at all. Especially if it's a chapter 7. Okay. So some of y'all can get out of owing the IRS. You just don't know the ways to do it. Okay. So you got 4. I just gave you 4 ways to handle your debt if you owe debt with the IRS. Okay. And somebody asked about the self-employment tax credits. There isn't too many tax credits you're going to get with self-employed other than your expenses that you're going to write off. Um, uh, yeah, basically your write-offs are going to be your credits. And let me explain. When something is a tax credit, that doesn't mean you're getting money back. That just means that if you owe, whatever credits you get will deduct from the amount that you owe. So a lot of people see these tax credits and they go, "Oh, I'm going to get some money." Not all the time. It needs to be a refundable credit in order for you to get money. If it's just a tax credit, all it is just something they put in the bank over here to the side. And when something negative, shows up, it'll just reduce by however many tax credits you have. That is all. Okay. So y'all, I love taxes, and y'all need to love it too, because this is why we're not able to do what Jeff Bezos and Donald Trump and all of them are doing by not paying, because we don't set up our stuff right. We don't set up our business right. Some of y'all want to be employees of your company, but y'all got LLCs, and y'all sitting up here arguing with me talking about y'all an employee, and I'm clearly telling you that you're not. Okay, and if I don't have to tell you, the IRS is telling you, you cannot be an employee of your own company if all the income you earn is on your 1040 taxes. You are the business. You are not an employee if you have an LLC. Let me say it again. If you got an LLC, you are not an employee of your business, because every dollar your business makes goes onto your personal taxes, which means you are the business. If you want to be an employee, you need to be an S corp. And an unfortunate part, you can't even say that with an S corp, because the S corp also goes on to your personal taxes. So to be completely separate, to have 2 separate forms of income, you need to be a corporation, because the business is owned by the corporation, and everybody who works for that corporation is an employee. But not if you have an LLC. So I don't even argue with you no more. I just say, well, baby, bring me your taxes and I'm going to show you. Because your 1040, it clearly says individual taxes, meaning y'all, us, me, not the business. Okay. So if y'all are trying to do something different and you want to actually be an employee, you're going to need to change your structure. All right. Who's saying, hey, boss lady? Hey, Kenyatta, how are you? Okay. Letitia says, my 21-year-old, she stays with me, not in school, but she does work. And my 16-year-old works. Do I claim them and they still stay with me? If your 21 is not in school, then I would not claim them. Let them file their own taxes. If your 16-year-old stays with you and works, yes, the 16-year-old can file their own taxes if they paid federal taxes out. If they didn't pay no federal taxes, doesn't even make sense for them to file because they're not going to get anything back. But yes, you can also claim them as a dependent, the 16-year-old, not the 21, because they are not in school. Okay. It said, wait, are you saying we can look at my W-2 form and the transcripts? Yes, absolutely. And that's what a lot of people don't know. Yes, if your employer don't want to give you your forms, you don't need them. Go to IRS website, look under wage and earning transcript, and you will get it. It will show everything you paid in federal tax, Social Security tax, Medicare tax. The only thing that you won't see is they will abbreviate the company address and they're going to abbreviate the company name. But y'all know who y'all work for. So I may not know as the tax preparer, but you know. But I can see all the numbers. And at the end of the day, that is all the IRS wants. Okay. And they do have a form called the form 4852. That is for people who don't have their actual W-2s, and you may not have all the information. It may not necessarily be correct. You can file your taxes and include the form 4852 to let them know, hey, I did the best I could with the information I could find. The IRS is not as difficult as a lot of y'all make it. Y'all just aren't aware of all the things that it has because the government ain't gonna tell us. Why? That's a whole nother topic. Okay. Thank you for the great information, y'all. Can you get credit for paying tithes? It's charity. Yes, you can. I'm not gonna tell y'all to stop paying God at $300, but I'm just letting you know the IRS ain't giving you no more over that. Okay, so now y'all may have to work out something with the Lord to say, hey, now giveth and taketh, but 300 is all I can give because that's all the IRS is gonna allow me to put on my forms. But yes, you can get credit for paying tithes, which is why I do not recommend y'all paying money towards the building fund and to all these other funds because they don't give you no proof that you donated. Okay. So all your money that goes to the church needs to be in the tithes and offering bucket, and they need to split that money up how they see fit. Bam. All right. Winners on lottery wins. Good question. First of all, if you are a gambler, you need to start playing bingo. Okay, because bingo is the only gambling that you can do that you do not have to report unless you made $2,500 or more. Okay. Now, a lot of y'all go and hit the slots at the slot machine. I know I see it down there in Hollywood at the Hard Rock. Okay. I see how y'all be winning. And that's cool. Congratulations. But I'm gonna tell you, if you won $500, if you didn't pay taxes, the IRS gonna hit you up right then and get them taxes out of you. Now, if you paid taxes, cool. They gonna hit you anyway. Okay, they go get their buddy from the earnings. But now, if you pay taxes at the casino, you won't pay double tax. But what you the only thing you will be allowed to do is you'll be able to write off how much you spent getting the money. But this is the catch: if you won $500, you can only write off that you spent $500 to get the 500. The IRS will not allow you to say you spent more money um, than what you won. Now we know when we go to the casino, if we won 500, we probably lost 1,000 to get it, but they will not allow you to write off that much. You will only can write off the amount you won. If you did not pay taxes, they're going to hit you up. If you did pay taxes, they won't. Just make sure you put in what you won as the same amount that you spent. Okay. Again, I'm not telling anybody to lie, but that's the maximum that you can write off anyway. Okay, I won 500. I spent 500 getting this 500 because usually casinos always win anyway. So you definitely didn't walk in and now some people might spend $1 and win. Okay, but the chances of it happening with all of us is not. But if you do bingo, you can earn up to $2,500 and you don't have to report it because bingo is usually a game that is put on by a nonprofit. It's usually put on by a veterans hall, or the Shriners, or the Masons, or whomever. So you can earn up to $2,500 and do not have to report it. Okay. So some of y'all need to change y'all hustle and stop going to casino and hit up these bingo halls so y'all can make y'all some money and you don't have to report. Okay. Because most time you win, they're not going to give you any documents. You're not going to pay no taxes. And that is cash in your pocket. Boom. And nobody knows. Okay. All right. Don't argue now. I'll show you where you can find it. But that is a gem. Stop going to the casinos and giving all these people y'all money when y'all can go right to the bingo hall. It's closer to your house and you get to keep your money and not pay no taxes on it. 854. All right, self-employed. I'm a 17-year-old, made 7,000. Can I still carry her on mine, or does she need to file both? I would do both. 17 is not old enough to most 17-year-olds don't have their own place. So I would still claim that person as a dependent. And even though they made 7,000, as long as they pay federal taxes, that is why they should file. And I don't, that's what I think y'all don't understand. You can work and you can make $50,000, but if you didn't pay any federal taxes, there's no money for you to get back unless you got kids. Okay. But if you work and you didn't pay no taxes, there ain't no money. There's nothing for you to claim. There's nothing for the IRS to give you back. The only thing a tax refund is to give you a refund for paying more taxes than you needed to. That's it. When you get a refund, it clearly says you overpaid and they're giving you a refund for what you overpaid. Now, if you have children, you are getting a refund of the refundable credits, the earned income tax credit. You're getting money back from that. But no kids or no tax, there is nothing to file. Not saying that you shouldn't, because remember, I tell y'all you should file even if you have zero, so you can get a $0 return, print it, sign it, and send it off so you can protect that social. But don't expect a refund if you didn't pay anything. And that goes for your children, because a lot of kids do not pay taxes, don't have taxes taken out. So if they didn't have any federal taxes taken out, they don't have to file their own, but they should still be claimed on yours as a dependent. Okay. Thank you very much, Letitia. Thank you for asking that question. I am favorite says Shamika is the TRUTH and is an excellent patient and caring professional. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, I didn't even offer y'all my tax services or anything to anybody, but if you are interested, I do virtual taxes, and I do a lot of people here on TikTok, a lot of people here on YouTube. I don't know y'all. Y'all don't know me. But y'all feel a kinship. Y'all like the way I talk. Y'all like the way I speak, and I appreciate that. So if that is what somebody wants to do, I will never tell you not to. I will not turn you away. You can send me a message. I'll send you my link. You can also go to shamikasaves.com. That's my website. If y'all want to talk about y'all credit, because some of y'all credit is trash. I'm just telling you, some of your credit is trash, and nobody ain't never told you how you can fix it without charging you $5,000 and $7,000. Okay. Do not blow your tax refund fixing your credit when it is a simple, easy fix. Okay. I don't care if your score is 400 or zero. You can always manipulate your credit score and change it to what you want it to be. We just got to find out what is blocking you from doing that. And once we remove that, we can move on. But stop paying all these people all this money. That's the only thing, that's probably the biggest thing I have to say out of all of this is people know when it's money time. The tax season is money time. They smell you coming. Do not let your greed allow you to go and get gypped by somebody. If somebody is charging you a percentage of your refund, if that's the fee that your refund is 10,000, I get 1,000, run, because that's not how tax preparation works. The IRS finds out, or the software company finds out, they will remove themselves from that person because they don't want to be associated with people who do that. Again, I'm not hating on anyone, but you should not be paying anybody who does not have initials behind their name that kind of money. If they ain't a CPA, a EA, an MBA, or something like that, somewhere they got some type of credential, something to lose, I will not be paying. The average person should not be getting that much money off of your taxes. And I tell people, question me. I don't even submit your taxes until you see the fees, till you see everything, till you are good with these numbers, because you ain't finna be mad at me. And you're damn sure not finna report me saying I'm doing something wrong, okay? I got a lot to lose. And if more people had a lot to lose, they do less fraudulent things, okay? I got 2 minutes left. Let me else see what else y'all asking. If you want the tax training, go to shamikasaves.com and send me a message. I will answer my messages tonight because I know y'all always hit me up with a lot of questions on Mondays. It says for self-employment tax credit, do we need receipts for tax write-offs? That depends on your tax preparer. If your tax preparer is not asking for receipts, you don't have to have it. Here is what you should do at least. At least have a sheet of paper and have your categories. If you do not know what the Schedule C form looks like, go and type in Schedule C IRS form and look right through the middle of the page. There are 20 things you can claim. There are 20 categories where you can say your money went to. At least help your tax preparer help you. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that if you put $400 down for meals and they put seven, at least y'all somewhere on the same page. But don't go and sit in front of them and expect them just to make up all these numbers all the time. Because if they're making up numbers for you, their name shouldn't even be on your taxes. Your name should be on it because you asking them to do something for you that they shouldn't. Okay. Although people do, I get it. I know people who don't work and they still want self-employment because they got kids. Um, I understand, but at least help your tax preparer by at least saying, "Hey, girl, here goes how much I put in advertising. Here goes how much I spent on materials, on office expenses. Here's how many miles I drove." Help them out, and then keep it. Okay, keep it so that in the event you get audited, you have something to fight with. Okay, the IRS ain't gonna bully you. They either gonna believe you or they gonna say you lying. They're gonna make you pay them back or they're not. At least help yourself, your tax preparer, to in the event that something does happen, you have a little bit of something to fight with. Okay, so Schedule C form is where you get all those tax write-offs. Okay. It says, I did not receive a refund in 2019 and I did not file in the last 3 years. Can you help? Yes, 2019 is dead and closed. You cannot get that money now. But if you have not filed in the last 3 years, I absolutely can help you go back those last 3 years. You will have to go to irs.gov, the same site I'm telling everybody else to go to. You will need to go to the wage and earning transcript page so that you can print off your documents that shows that tells or excuse me, that the IRS has received information about you so that you can give that to the taxpayer. Or if that's me, give it to me so that I can do your taxes. I can't prepare them out of thin air, but we can prepare them if you got the wage and earning transcript. Okay. All right. So most of the time it's 901. What about the 1041 form? 1041. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Don't be hitting me up because 1041 is not a form that is used very often. Hold on. Let me check. Okay, 1041 is for estates and trusts. You should have a CPA or EA do your if you have a 1041. If you have a 1040 NR, that's for non-residents. Um Now I would say non-residents, you need to go to your local VITA tax center and let them do it because they are familiar working with non-residents. I've done that a lot. Um, Non-residence taxes are done a lot different. And I'm gonna tell you this: if you got anybody that is a non-resident and they're in school, because that's the most people who come over here who are non-residents, they're over here because of school. The only thing that you are going to receive is your American Opportunity Credit, which is that $1,000. You should not get anything else. And then the other 1040 is the 1040X, and that's for people who have to amend their taxes. You should only have to do that when you are making a correction to your 1040, which is your original tax form that you had to do. Okay. So I tried to answer everything. I know we still got a lot of stuff. Okay. But I'm gonna tell you, if y'all got questions, y'all can send me a message on the website. A lot of y'all, I'll just drop my phone number because I ain't got time to be typing all them long ass answers. Okay. So I appreciate y'all for being here as usual, always on Mondays. Um, 7 p.m. Central is now 8 Eastern. So we're gonna change it a little bit so we can get more people here. But shamikasaves.com is where you need to go. That's where you can reach and you can message me if you don't already have my information. You can send me a message on TikTok. You can send me a message on Facebook. You can send me a message on Instagram. Y'all already do it. And yeah, happy tax season. Again, don't let these people fool you. If y'all need me to send you anything about what I talked about, I have no problem doing that. And then last but not least, I'll say this because a lot of y'all did not come in and catch this. Your beneficial ownership form. For those who have businesses, the site is now open and taking your information. So if you want to go ahead and claim your business for fencing, which is the finance. Oh, I went over this last time. Finance and something. But anyway, fencing. If you want to claim your business, so you can go ahead and get it out of the way, because I'm telling you, this year gonna come by and we ain't never gonna hear about this from nobody, but from people on social media. Go and claim your business now so that you can already have it done and over with, because they will be charging $500 a day, they say, after January 1st, 2025. But I'm almost certain that that's going to change too. Okay. So, yes, Miss Letitia, send me a message. I'll send you my tax link, and I'm gonna drop my tax link right here on TikTok for any. I mean, not TikTok, on YouTube for anybody that wants it. You can go to my tax link. It will have you upload your information, and we could text chat all throughout the tax thing. And if y'all want me to call you and do Zoom because you just want to see my lovely face, I have no problem with that. Y'all have a wonderful evening. See y'all next Monday. And yes, I talk this fast all the time. And as you see, your girl don't have no notes. I don't have no book in front of me. None of that. This comes all off from the top because this is what I do all day, every day. So I love you guys. See you next time. And y'all have a good one. shamikasaves.com. Okay. Bye.